The art gallery's private lounge was meant to be a sanctuary from the chaos of the charity auction outside, a place where VIPs could sip wine, exchange polite pleasantries, and escape the prying eyes of the press for a few minutes. The lighting was warm, the hum of conversation low and measured. But the atmosphere shattered the moment Caitríona Balfe's voice cut through it. It wasn't a scream. It didn't need to be. The precision in her tone was sharper than any raised pitch. You really think no one can see what you're doing? Brynn Whitfield froze mid-step, a glass of sparkling water trembling in her hand. She turned toward the voice and found Caitríona standing near the lounge's velvet settee, arms folded, eyes locked on her like a hawk about to strike. The few guests lingering in the room seemed to sense danger instantly. Conversations tapered off. A pair of assistants near the door exchanged nervous glances, their eyes flicking between the two women as though watching the first moves of a match they'd been warned never to bet on. Brynn tried to keep her voice steady. I don't know what you mean. You don't? Caitríona's laugh was hollow, a sound completely devoid of warmth. You've been hovering around Sam since the moment he left the hospital. Following him to events, showing up at rehearsals, acting like you have some special place in his life. Her words were calculated, each one landing like the snap of a whip. Brynn's fingers tightened around her glass. He's my friend, she said quietly. I care about him, that's all. That's all? Caitríona's voice dipped lower, almost intimate now, but somehow more dangerous. Because from where I'm standing, it looks like you're trying to turn friendship into something else. And it's pathetic. A murmur went through the lounge, the kind that can only happen when everyone is pretending not to listen while hanging on every word. Brynn felt the heat rise in her cheeks. She hated public confrontation. It left her feeling trapped, like there was nowhere to put the weight of her own emotions. She set her glass down on the nearest table, her hand trembling slightly. I'm not going to do this with you here, she said, her voice barely above a whisper. Oh, you'll do it wherever I say, Caitríona countered, taking a step closer. Because if you're going to play in our world, in his world, you'd better be ready for what comes with it. The word "our" cut deeper than Brynn expected. It was a reminder of how intertwined Caitríona and Sam's lives had been for over a decade, both on and off screen. Caitríona's eyes swept over Brynn in a way that felt more like assessment than observation. You don't belong here. You don't know what it takes to protect someone like him, what it costs. And frankly, I doubt you could handle it for a single day. It wasn't just the words, it was the way Caitríona delivered them, like she was peeling away layers of Brynn's defenses in front of everyone. Brynn blinked rapidly, trying to keep the moisture in her eyes from spilling over. But the more she fought it, the harder it became. Memories she'd tried to bury began to stir. Moments of being underestimated, dismissed, pushed aside in rooms where she'd had every right to stand tall. And now here she was again, with the whole room watching, her strength cracking under the weight of someone else's judgment. You think I'm weak, Brynn said finally, her voice trembling. Caitríona tilted her head, her lips curving into something that could almost be mistaken for pity. I think you're in over your head. And when you go down, you'll take him with you. That was it. The last thread of Brynn's composure snapped. The first tear slipped down her cheek before she could stop it. She turned away, swiping at her face, but it was too late. The image had been burned into the minds of everyone in the room. The door to the lounge swung open then, and Sam Heughan stepped inside, still in his tailored suit from the evening's event. He scanned the room, his easy smile faltering as his eyes landed on Brynn, her shoulders slightly hunched, her fingers trembling as she dabbed at her eyes. What's going on? His voice carried a sharp edge, the kind that cut through the air. Brynn shook her head quickly. It's nothing. But Caitríona didn't move away. She stood her ground, the faintest shadow of a smirk tugging at her lips. We were just having a conversation, she said lightly. Sam's gaze hardened. Doesn't look like a conversation to me. He stepped toward Brynn, placing a protective hand at her back. Did she say something to you? Brynn's lips parted, but no words came. She didn't want to be the one to light the fire, but she didn't have to. Sam's eyes moved from her to Caitríona, and whatever he saw in Brynn's expression was enough. His voice dropped, the warmth gone, replaced by something cold and precise. "Enough," he said, his jaw tightening. "You've said more than enough." The room was silent except for the hum of the air conditioner. Caitríona's expression didn't change, but the air between them shifted, charged, volatile, seconds away from igniting into something far bigger. And in that suspended moment, everyone in the room knew. Whatever this was, it wasn't over. It was just the beginning. Sam didn't wait for an answer. His hand dropped from Brynn's back, and he took 2 deliberate steps toward Caitríona, closing the space between them. His shoulders were squared, his voice low but seething. "What the hell gives you the right?" Caitríona didn't flinch. "I'm protecting you." "From what? From someone who's been nothing but kind to me? Who sat by my bed when no one else would? You think I don't know the difference between real loyalty and whatever game you're playing?" Brynn stood frozen a few feet behind him, the sting of Caitríona's earlier words still fresh, her heart pounding in her chest. The gallery's lounge, moments ago just an elegant waiting room, had transformed into a battlefield. Caitríona's tone shifted from icy to sharp. "You call this loyalty? You don't know her like I do. You think this is about romance, Sam, but it's not. There are things she hasn't told you. Things that could ruin." Sam's hand went up, silencing her mid-sentence. "Don't you dare," he said, his voice trembling with controlled fury. "Don't you dare try to smear her to me. If you had a problem, you should have come to me. Not humiliate her in front of a room full of strangers." Caitríona's lips pressed into a thin line. "Maybe I tried to, and you weren't listening." "You never tried," Sam shot back. "You assumed. And you've been so wrapped up in whatever image you think you're protecting that you can't see what's right in front of you." Brynn's phone buzzed in her clutch, the vibration oddly loud in the tense silence. She didn't dare look at it, but something about the timing sent a shiver through her. Caitríona's eyes flicked to the sound, then back to Sam. "Ask her about the messages. Ask her who's been contacting her at odd hours. Ask her why she doesn't tell you." Sam turned halfway toward Brynn, his expression questioning but not yet accusing. "What's she talking about?" Brynn hesitated. "It's nothing important, just..." Caitríona cut in, her voice slicing through the space. "Just the kind of nothing that gets people destroyed in this business." Sam whipped back toward Caitríona, his patience snapping. "Stop it. Whatever this is, you're not going to use it as a weapon against her." For the first time, Caitríona's composure faltered. She took a step back, but her voice remained steady. "Fine, don't listen, but when this all blows up, remember that I tried." Sam's jaw clenched. "You didn't try. You attacked. You humiliated her. And for what? To prove you still have control over me? That's done, Caitríona. It's over." Brynn felt the words like a shockwave, not just because of what they meant for Caitríona, but because of what they revealed about the undercurrent between them. This wasn't only about her. This was years of unspoken tension boiling over. Before either could speak again, a man in a dark suit appeared in the doorway, clearly uncomfortable with walking in on the scene. "Mr. Heughan," he said quietly, "you have the press waiting for your interview. They're live in 5. Sam didn't break his gaze from Caitríona. "Tell them I'll be there in a minute." The man nodded and slipped out. Caitríona used the moment to step closer again, her voice dropping low enough that only Sam and Brynn could hear. "You think this is about jealousy? It's not. Someone's setting her up, Sam. And when it hits, it won't just be her name in the headlines. It'll be yours, too." Sam's expression flickered, the tiniest crack in his fury. "Then tell me who. Tell me what you know." But Caitríona just shook her head. "You're not ready to hear it." And with that, she turned and walked out, her heels clicking against the marble floor, leaving a trail of tension in her wake.